President is dead.
Parkland doctors pronounced President Kennedy dead at 1 p.m. In the chaos that followed, no one stopped to evaluate the forensic evidence left in the limo.
I think if we had seen where the president's body matter and brain matter was splattered, I think we would have seen from which direction the bullets were being fired. There's any number of things that criminal investigators look for at a crime scene, and the limousine was a crime scene.
But what did the limo look like before someone cleaned it? Could this destroyed evidence have determined the location of Kennedy's killer? Now, we recreate a crime scene and trace a bullet's path. And two men who were witnesses to history become witnesses to a new chapter of that history.
It appears as though something has happened in the motorcade route. Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route.
At 12:30 p.m., the presidential limo escapes from a barrage of bullets in Dealey Plaza. The press follows. Stunned spectators panic as police search for suspects and witnesses.
If you go to Dealey Plaza and they fire test shots like they did for an investigation in 1978, there are echoes all over the place because of the physical layout of Dealey Plaza. And if you're at a right angle to the source of the shot, all the gun experts will tell you, you can't tell where the shot's coming from.
Within minutes, the Dallas police search the Texas School Book Depository and soon discover, on the 6th floor, a rifle and 3 spent shells. Boxes by the window suggest a sniper's perch, a perch allegedly used by Lee Harvey Oswald. But was Oswald the lone gunman? Did he fire at all? Evidence that might have identified the location of the sniper and eliminated this controversy was allegedly wiped away at Parkland Hospital. For this and other reasons, conspiracy theorists claim that the Warren Commission was wrong. There were other gunmen firing from other locations in Dealey Plaza. One prime spot is the South Grassy Knoll. Another here on the south end of the Triple Underpass. And another on the north end. But many conspiracy experts believe the most likely location for this second gunman was behind the stockade fence on the grassy knoll. Which vantage point would have offered the best shot for a hidden assassin? There is one clue to answering this question that no one disputes. A 26-second home movie filmed by Abraham Zapruder. This extraordinary film shot from this location documents the entire sequence of events. And the frames of the Zapruder film represent a photographic key to the assassination. For example, Kennedy reacts to a gunshot by frame number 225. Governor Connally begins to turn in frame 232. And in frame 313, the unspeakable is captured. Using these frames as an ending point, we can work backward to create a forensic blueprint of the fatal shot. Either from the back, as stated by the Warren Commission, or somewhere from the front, as conspiracy proponents allege.
Many people think a shot came from the front, but where? So we're going to test some of the locations. The X is where President Kennedy was when that...
In order to zero in on this hypothetical position, we need to shut down Dealey Plaza and take that best shot for ourselves. Michael Yardley is one of the world's best sharpshooters. A graduate of the Royal Military Academy of Sandhurst, he has won more than 500 competitions as a civilian marksman. Yardley's target is an accurate one, an almost exact replica of the Kennedy limo. Gary Mack, curator of the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza, helped us to set the scene.
What we're doing has never been done before.
We hired 4 actors of the approximate sizes and weights of the key men and women in the car in 1963.
Michael and I will be in different locations in the plaza, looking at angles and trajectories to see what parts of the car might be in the way, what people might be in the way, because the theories involve a shot coming from the front, supposedly. Well, where from the front? That's what we're going to look at today.
Our cast and set is in place, but we need an exact shooting script. Those details were captured in frame 312 of the Zapruder footage, just 1/18th of a second before the fatal shot. The frame needed to be recreated exactly for each of our 4 tests.
For example, in this frame, you're leaned over toward your wife, Nellie, and you're about to roll over into her lap. Now, the Kennedys, you're kind of slumped over a little bit to your left. You've got your hand up, not this far, there you go. And you've got your other hand up to him in this area somewhere. You're trying to cradle him and protect him. There you go, that's good.
Our process of location testing begins at the South Grassy Knoll.
Well, it's almost exactly 100 yards. So it is possible. It's certainly within the realms of possibility. What we need to do now, Gary, is get that vehicle into position and test it with the rifle.
All right, we can do that.
While Dallas police hold traffic in the plaza, our limo moves into position and parks with our actor portraying Kennedy directly over an X marked on Elm Street. That X marks the impact point of the fatal bullet. They assume the position of frame 312.
I'm just going to take the bolt out of the rifle for safety purposes.
But as Michael prepares to make the shot, he notices something wrong.
Well, the problem here, guys, is there's not really a shot to make. There's maybe 2 to 3 inches of the president's head visible, but I don't think it's a practical shot, and we're standing up. If you were lying down, as would have been more likely, you'd have been in a lower position, and there wouldn't have been a shot at all.
As a sniper, this wouldn't work for you.
I don't think so.
Next location, the south end of the triple underpass.
Can you see President Kennedy from here?
You know, Gary, there's no shot there. Not unless I went through the windshield itself. Then you'd have the shot. But without going directly through the windshield, there's no shot.
We now move to the north end of the triple underpass. Shrubbery blocks our view today, preventing a clear line of sight to our target. So we reposition in front, keeping the trajectory the same.
The limousine's in the right place. Secret Service guy says Kennedy is right over the X. What kind of line do you see?
This is not a difficult shot. You've got a window of opportunity there. You've got a chance to track the vehicle. This is a shot that potentially could be made.
You know, there's a historical problem with that, because on the other side of the fence is where the railroad workers were. 15, 16, 17 guys, and they're all standing around. In fact, there's a home movie that shows there were 2 railroad guys not 10 feet away from this guy. They would have heard something, if only the crack of the bullet breaking the sound barrier.
But nevertheless, with all the other stuff that was going on, I still would keep an open mind on this position.
Our 4th and final sniper position is behind the stockade fence on the grassy knoll. This is the location many conspiracy theorists believe is the most likely spot for a second gunman. A conclusion reinforced by a photograph taken by Mary Ann Moorman, seen here with her camera in the Zapruder film.
This is where a shape appears in the Mary Moorman photograph of the Kennedy assassination, a shape that is no longer in this location in later pictures. So that was a person. That's the speculation that that shape was actually a grassy knoll gunman, the second gunman in the Kennedy assassination.
Limo and actors move to their mark.
You've certainly got the possibility of a shot there. You're a lot closer. You're a lot more in control of the whole situation.
Is there enough room to track your target to see him in time?
The window's not enormous, but yes.
Okay.
There is sufficient.
So if there were a second gunman in the Kennedy assassination, odds are pretty good that he'd be right here.
Provided he could remain undetected and provided he could get away, yes.
If a gunman had fired from this grassy knoll location,